Shadows Pub, and welcome to Pimp Your Post Thursday, taking place in the Steam Ramble and streamed live on DLive. For those who are new to the show, you'll see a message I'm going to drop into the channel with instructions for an emoji you can use to enter the queue. When I see the emoji, I will add you to the queue list and put another emoji by yours. If you want to see where you are in the queue, visit the DLive link. Be sure to mute the sound there if you're listening here. When your turn is called, you will drop your link in the text chat and come into voice to tell us about your post. If you're unable to use voice, then you must have text ready to copy-paste into the text channel when you drop your link. And with that, we have the formalities done. And, geez, we put Damien first and he hasn't made it in. We're going to fix that. Oh, Damien, you are up.
What? We don't bite. We don't bite. Anonymous.
Anonymous.
Oh well, I don't. Right, I don't bite.
What? That is such a cool name, Anonymous. I like that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Who was banned for burping?
Did we ban somebody for burping?
Why? Why can't I burp?
Nope, I banned somebody for recording when he shouldn't be recording, but I didn't ban for burping.
It wasn't in here, but it's like it's good thing to know that, like, stuff like that can happen.
Right, this is a burp safe zone.
What, banning for burp?
I don't think Shadows would ban you for burping, quite honestly.
I'd probably be laughing too hard.
I think it was WhatsApp who did it in TeamSpeak, if I remember correctly.
Really? She's usually pretty chill.
If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. It was on TeamSpeak, and the dude has been banned for like 3 or 4 weeks, and then they finally let him in. They're like, "What was I banned for?" It's like, "Because you burped on mic." It's like, really?
Wow.
I mean, they could.
Extremely aggressive.
No, she's a sweetheart, but that's like the one time I was like, really? WhatsApp got mad at that?
Yeah, she's usually pretty chill. Well, it looks as though Damien is not responding to the summoning. I see he's red, so maybe he's AFK for something. So, Snook, you're up.
Okay, I got it. We're going to start with the funny one.
You do funny?
Once in a while, just very rarely, do I come up with something that I find humorous. This is it's about making posts and footers. Really, it's about footers. That sometimes, because a footer is really all your advertising of things that you want, like PYPT, or like if you're in a certain Discord channel that you really like and want to promote. And I've been here now, well, almost a year, and I've met quite a few people, and I've been trying to figure out how to condense my footer. So I always tease Coffee, who's a new witness, about his footer is like a whole post. So I put in, and I'm actually missing quite a few after I made the post. This post that you see here, and really the funny part is that you don't even have to read the top of it. You just scroll through it. You'll understand why it's funny. And that's it, and no one laughed. So okay.
And Coffee had left you.
I thought it was funny.
Messages. He must have left you like 10 comments on there.
Well, and then that was even funnier because he usually leaves like a block of text for a comment. So he must have been reading it and laughing, and then he wrote one thing, but then he realized that it got funnier as he went. So then he decided to like leave like 7 or 8 comments, all in separate lines. And once he started, I don't think he could stop. And then what the funny part is that I usually leave short comments. So it was perfect for my style of commenting. It's because I could answer each one.
So you used his style of footer, exaggerated.
Yeah,
And he used
right.
your style of commenting, exaggerated.
Correct. Exactly. Which is even more funny. But it's actually very humorous.
Yeah, it was. Very much so. And in case anyone hasn't noticed, there's a giveaway channel up above the voice chat text. And I just started one in there that'll run for 90 minutes. So you need to go in and click on the emoji that's underneath it in order to enter. And
I clicked at the same time somebody else did, and it didn't take. So make sure when you click on it, it flips the number.
Hobo Tang, what happens is I send a Steam to Steam Basic Income, and they register you with a share of Steam Basic Income. And as your shares build up, then the vote that it gives you on your posts will increase as well. And you can send shares for other people, and then you receive a share. Does that make sense to you? So I think you got 2 last week, didn't you?
I was just gonna say, didn't they get some last week?
Yeah,
Two?
I think Hobotan got some last week, and Snook got 4. I like that. Snoop.
Snoop.
And Zipporah came back. All right. Kurt Ross, you are up next.
Awesome. Good afternoon, evening, morning, whatever it is for you all. Anyways, my post that I put on here is about the camp that I work at. I came into the camp that I work at from teaching and science background, and that's why I'm education in. And so I'm kind of passionate about education, and then I get to camp, and I find out that I work at a place where education is like the foremost thing. So I've been around a little while, and I hear all the time from all these teachers, oh my gosh, this kid that's an absolute asshole in my classroom is absolutely killing it here at camp. So it got me really thinking about it, and I wanted to kind of appeal to people, like why they should send their kids to camp and why it's an important type of education for kids and students and even adults to get, honestly. Please read it. Enjoy.
So what do they do at the camp that makes the difference in the classroom?
So everything we do is experiential. So you're not reading out of a book at all. We don't look at diagrams of animals. We just pick them up and play with them. And we teach the kids how to handle them, and they get to like make all of the realizations themselves. We call them researchers, or we call them explorers, and we have them kind of have them guess what makes them different. What is it about the adaptations these animals have that helps them survive? Just for an example, we do a lot more stuff other than animals, but that is one of the big things we do.
But I learn by doing, not by reading. Also, I mean, it does make a big difference.
You and most people, and it's crazy that our school system is set up to learn about but not actually do all the time.
Right. And then, yes, because I'm like that. I don't know if you ever saw Charlie Brown, where the teacher's like, blah, 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 blah. That's pretty much what I heard when I was in class.
Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Dude, you
exactly.
haven't got that down at all.
I mean, I went to 16 years of school. I got it.
Yeah. But then, like in Otto's class, I mean, I could rip apart an engine and put it back together. Because it was a hands-on class.
Absolutely. It's great. Like, we don't teach people about being an American pioneer by reading from a book. We have them act out what it was like to do it.
Very cool.
So how did you get involved with this project, Kurt?
I was a math and science teacher, and I had a connection who worked at this camp, and he said I would come in and be the director of curriculum at this camp if I wanted the job. And I was super stoked to use my education background in kind of an outdoors, hands-on environment.
Awesome.
Sounds like you do a good job at it too, and that probably motivates the kids as well.
I certainly try. I also I don't do most of the teaching. I teach our teachers. So I help them become better at teaching.
That's really admirable.
It is.
Much appreciated. Glad you enjoy.
Thank you, Kurt.
Shout out to Dreams Team for helping me with all of the formatting. My other post didn't look as nice.
Oh, are you in the welcome wagon?
Yeah, somehow I got a week too.
Oh, cool.
Hey, take what you can get.
Soak it up.
And speaking of Welcome Wagon, Evening Art. She's going to do her first presentation. She's part of Welcome Wagon as well. Yeah,
hey guys. Not nervous at all.
just relax. We're just having a chat
okay, so,
here.
Yeah. Basically, my post is about something really exciting that's been happening in my house. So, my other half had a book published in May. And after 15 years of talking about writing together, suddenly one of us has a book out there, and it's on Amazon, and it's published by a HarperCollins imprint. So it's already out on ebook, and it's coming out in 2 weeks today as a paperback. And I've just been so excited about it being out. It's been the weirdest experience to be able to support it. So yeah, that's basically what it's about, living with this mad author.
And now you're becoming one.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Slowly but surely. Thank you. No,
I love this.
It's very, very cool because it's like a reality check as to what it's really like. Because I think you can build it into this mythical thing of something you want for so long, and then to see the realities of an edit and another edit, and then the slightly less glamorous parts, but then the really amazing parts that come along in bits as well.
So have you been writing all along, or have you just sort of picked it up in self-defense?
So I've been writing on and off as a blogger for years. I've always wanted to create a book, but Jules, who obviously this belongs to, my other half, he used to be a TV writer, so he sees it very differently. It's always been like a job, something that he just sits down and does. And so for him, this was him. He sat down and wrote a novel and got it published. It was just like quite matter of fact.
This is what I'm going to do, and I'm doing it.
Yeah, and it's really inspirational to see someone just work their way through, send it off. Oh look, 2-book deal, ta-da!
So, the Welcome Wagons probably introduced you to this concept anyways, but there is a writers group called the Writer's Block. There we go. Kitty Girl's got the link in there. And one of the goals over there is to work with each other to become the best writers we can be. It's a fairly laid back group. You weren't in here this morning when Rhonda was in. Rhonda Kay, who's one of the editors over there. She's one of the admins, one of the founding admins of the Writer's Block. But I think you'd enjoy that group as well.
That sounds amazing. Oh, I've just to Kurt. I'm not the pro writer. My other half is.
You don't need to be a pro. If you write, you are a writer.
That's fair.
Yes, and they take care of people who write fiction, nonfiction, poetry. It doesn't matter. And they'll help you polish your work.
Yep.
That sounds amazing. I think that's something I get stuck on, is actually showing stuff. I write a lot, but never put it out there.
There's an activity going to take place in there on Saturday, and I believe it's going to be around 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which would put it around 6 UTC, and it's called the Chicago Workshop. And people are able to submit some pieces, standalone pieces, and we go into voice chat, and one person will take that piece and they'll read it. Not the writer. The writer will not be reading it. Somebody else will read it. They'll read it exactly as it's written. The writer listens to that, and then the writer hears other people in the group making comments on their impressions of the writing. So you've got to go into it without ego, because it's not personal to you, it's just about the writing.
Yeah, and it detaches you from it. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, and you'd be welcome to sit in on that or take part. So
I'd probably sit in.
yeah, I understand that feeling. I did that the last time they had it was a couple weeks ago, and that was my intention, was to sit in, but I did end up participating, so it's totally up to you.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you.
So go ahead and hop over there. You'll find some good folks over there, but don't leave yet. It'll be still there when we're done.
I'll stay awake for a little while longer, don't worry.
Sounds like a plan. And I was just talking to Damien. He didn't respond because he's dealing with an emergency situation. So we'll have to forgive him. Damien is from your neck of the woods, Evening.
Yeah, he's over in Northampton or something, I think you said earlier.
Yeah. And yes,
awesome.
You now have the blue ink of PYPT attendee. Well done.
Yay!
Okay, and next up is Anonymous.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing? There we go.
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty nervous. So I've actually been gone from the Steamic community for a pretty long time, and this is my reintroductory post. It's not real long, and it's not like really great. Like y'all's are like really informative and everything. Mine's just kind of a hey, hello, and a very hopeful gesture that I'll be here for much longer. I tend to not write informative stuff. I tend to write anecdotes, and I've been told that I write in the same tone that I talk. So hopefully, I would think that my writing's really interesting, and hopefully I can bring y'all some enjoyment.
Good stuff. Anecdotes are good. So, I take it that you ride a bike. You didn't just pose on one.
No, that's my bike. Her name is Calypso.
Oh, you can tell by the way she's on it. She rides that thing. Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's wonderful.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm not necessarily into motorcycles myself, but I am all about female empowerment. So, yeah, go, go, go.
I think like a few months ago, I found out from my mom over dinner that she said that ever since I was little, I'd been saying that I was going to get a motorcycle, even though I was barred by her to get one. So
nice power plant in the background.
Thanks. It's just there for the ambiance.
Helps with the clouds.
There wasn't enough clouds when I started, so I wanted more.
Please increase production.
Well done. And you also are getting your PYPT Blue attendee.
Thank you. I'm pretty excited.
Welcome aboard. We're here every Thursday. And we're even here between the shows on Thursdays.
I'm going to try and drag her to each one.
This is good. All right. Thank you, Anonymous. And next up, Artemis. Yes.
Hi, everybody. Oh, good. It showed the picture. I am really excited about this post. I found it yesterday morning while working on my Fiber Ramble curation. This post took me down rabbit holes. I discovered Creative Commons art and a new way to look at using color in my needlework. And I'm also excited about it because I presented it to somebody to be considered for a Curie, and it was good enough. So I'm kind of excited about that too. But read this post if you're into art at all. This is just a fabulous post.
Where's this person from? Do you know?
No, I don't know, actually. Yes, I do. Manchester. So I don't know if she's from Manchester or if she's just talking about FC United of Manchester.
they're probably from if they're talking about it.
She's definitely from the UK, but I don't know exactly where.
There's some
She's
great
actually
looking stuff there.
she's part of the Needlework Monday crew, and I've never really seen the depth of her creativity until this post, and I'm just flabbergasted. I think it's excellent.
It looks to be. Nice find.
That sounds like a good segue into Artemis telling us briefly about the fiber chat on Mondays for those here who don't know.
Oh, thank you, Kitty Girl. Yes, on Mondays here in the Steam at Ramble, we have a Creatives Coffee Hour. And it's for anyone that's creative. It doesn't have to be needle arts. It can be writing, photography, wood carving, whatever. And we just get together, and it's not really a pimp your post. We just share what we're working on, what's on our minds, and just enjoy ourselves. So it's at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you're free, come on over.
Yeah, it's very laid back. If you've got a post you want to share, you can share the post. If you've got a photo of a project you're working on, that's wonderful. Or a photo of something that you've come across that you thought was pretty cool. We see some
It's
pretty neat stuff in there.
Yeah, it's a really fun way to start your Monday. Well, or afternoon for some.
Well, and you don't even have to have anything to share. If you just wanted to come hang out, meet a few people, network, make some friends, that's perfectly fine too.
Yep. Yeah, it might be a project somebody's working on. It might be some pictures they've been taking or putting filters on. Lots of possibilities. So everybody's welcome. It will be in the room that says Creatives Coffee Hour. Yes, out in your neck of the woods, that is 10 a.m. Okay, and Kitty Girl. Thank you, Artemis. You are next up, Kitty Girl.
Oh, seriously? That was faster than I expected. Let me get my link. I was actually typing something up for the latecomers to tell them about the prize giveaway. So I'll just go ahead and say it instead of finishing typing it. Yeah, all the latecomers who just came in a minute ago, be sure to go to the giveaway channel, look at the clock that's ticking down under giveaway bot, and click that reaction emoji so you can enter the giveaway for Steam Basic Income.
Yes, because there's only 8 people entered there so far. Oh, thanks. Tick, tick, tick.
Okay, so this evening I'm going to share another one of my old barn posts. For those who don't know, I found a really pretty barn in the area, and I photographed it, and then I decided to keep photographing barns because I think they're pretty. I've never lived on a farm. I don't, I think maybe if I've ever been in a barn in my life, it's only been a couple of times, but I've always thought they were pretty. I love the weathered wood. The varied architecture is just so awesome. And these are not even two of my best barn pictures, but they were like, I'm kind of sort of posting them in numerical order as I found them and cataloged them into my thing. But yeah, these barns are in an area of the county called Eastatoe Valley. And Eastatoe is an old Indian name. I can't even remember now what it means, but there were a lot of Cherokee in the area, so it's from the Cherokee language. But it's just this little valley that is nestled in between two mountain ridges, and it is very beautiful and very scenic in there. And if you look in the post, you can see the pictures of the barns and read a little bit about them. And then I have a picture that came out of Google Maps Street View of the field and looking down the road beside one of the barns, and I thought it was really pretty and scenic. So I actually did a little bit of image editing with my software and tried to make it, a little bit prettier, enhance it a little bit more, and reduced it to a 16 by 9 aspect ratio so that it would be good wallpaper for the computer. So anyone that wants it can snag a a pretty scenic picture in there. But if you do like old barns, I have got over 300 barns that I have cataloged in 2 or 3 different counties here close to where I live. And I'm sharing those in my blog along with all of the crystals and stones and the flowers and everything else I'm posting. So check it out if you're a fan of barns. Thank you.
Great stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kitty Girl.
I see Hobotang saying no barns where we're from in Florida. Well, I don't know about central and southern Florida, but I know there's a lot of barns in the northern part around Jacksonville and Tallahassee, all up in there. There's a lot of farming country up in there.
We got a little football game going on in the text chat there.
Can I ask, what was the SBI competition that you recommended when I just started listening?
Steam Basic Income. And if you go into the giveaway channel and click on the emoji there, you'll be entered to potentially win a share for tonight. Okay.
Thank you.
Zipporah, you are up.
Hello, guys. Nice to see you all again, those of you who were here earlier. So this is a song that some people might be familiar with, one of mine. It's the second one I ever entered into the open mic challenge, and it was the week that I actually placed second in that. And I'm trying to start adding some of my songs to D-Sound and just in general bring them over onto the blockchain. So there it is. This is a song I wrote in 2011, just on the heels of my year-long trip in India. And I was kind of trying to pull myself up by my bootstraps, and this little song came out. And as I say in there, you know, some of my songs I've written and they were very meaningful and relevant at the time, and then they quickly fade and I even forget how to play them. But this song is proving to be evergreen, meaning that its relevance is persistent through my life. I think will always be some element of the sentiments that inspired it within me, and it's one of my songs that people seem to really connect to personally. So there's my little song called Home Tonight. Have a listen when you have a moment, if you feel like it, and enjoy.
Very nice. That's quite a photo of the bird you caught there.
Yeah, that was a lucky moment on a beach in Gokarna in India. And it seems to fit for a lot of, like to emotionally convey a lot of things visually. And I appreciate the motion of liftoff and all that conveys.
Yeah, you couldn't have staged that photo. That was just pure catch it at the moment.
Yeah, just a pure luck, and the fact that it was actually in focus to my level of has to be well in focus or I just junk it. The fact that he was actually in focus and his eye is so like sharp, that's the part that matters. So it's very lucky catch.
For sure. So Hobotang says beautiful lyrics. He can't wait to listen to it. And Katrina says, "Oh my God, that happens to me, Zipporah. Songs come out and are forgotten, and others keep driving straight into my heart."
Exactly. I used to feel really sorrowful and sad about the songs that disappeared. You know, it felt like all that effort went in, and shouldn't I remember how to play my own songs? But I've come to understand that they appear when I need them to, and they're part of my therapy, my self-processing of things, and it's totally okay. Just like a conversation you have with someone else, it's sort of a conversation I have with myself in lyrical musical form, and it's okay that it's not something I carry forever in my pocket.
And for those who are new to Pimp Your Post, Zipporah has got a lovely voice. She plays well, and she is a good songwriter. And the same exact thing can be said about Katrina Ariel. You definitely need to check out Zipporah's and Katrina's music, no doubt.
For sure.
Thank you, kitty girl. You're so kind. We love you.
Okay, now Louis Draw is on the list, but am I blind or is he not in the voice channel?
Must have dropped out. I'm not seeing him.
Okay, well, we'll move on until he returns. So, Eco Instant, you're up next.
All right.
And there we go.
Right. So here's my post, and I also have a new post about our trip visiting coming up to Snook. But other than the pictures, there's not much going on in that one. Oh, there's a Donald Trump joke, I think, that I thought was funny. The other day I was talking, we're sitting around waiting for a whole day to get on the plane, and I had a nice chance to really just read and comment all day, which is I haven't been able to do in so long. I kind of feel bad, and when I listen to you guys, I hear some of you guys kind of feel bad, like, I don't get to read as much as I want to, But as it happens, if you leave enough comments, you're bound to offend somebody, and I did. I put my foot right in my mouth, and I feel a little bit bad, and I edited it, but I think there was a point there that I wanted to make. So I wrote this post about complaining, and it happens more when the price is down, and I think it might happen more when people are new, and I think it happens more when people have no idea what they're talking about, which is kind of frustrating. But I guess my point with this post is that I don't think just complaining adds any value. Like if you don't have a solution or a suggestion at the end, I'm starting to lose my patience with that.
Well, I always find it interesting the number of people who compare Steam to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit. Like, those are established, mature websites. They're not a 2-year-old website. And this project called Steam is the only project of its type that's actually working on the blockchain, and people are earning money off of it. So while we complain, we've got a lot to be grateful for too. Exactly, Katrina. None of those pay me for posting. Most of my friends over there don't even read what I write.
Right. There's so much to be grateful for here, and I know it's not perfect. Some of the funniest thoughts that I have is like, I've been here a year now, hearing people complain about pretty much the same things, and the platform has only gotten better. It seems to be continuously improving, but none of those same things have been really addressed,
And then, too, we know that Steam It Inc. is not out there selling our data like Facebook is. Facebook is free because we're the product. They're making money off of us, and that's not true of Steam It Inc. The Steam blockchain in general, it's wonderful.
They'd have to have our data to sell it.
Right. I see everybody loving this topic.
Yeah, it's easy to complain, but they also need to look at the good things that are here and the fact that we've got a lot to be grateful for. JR, what's a Facebook?
So if anyone needs a post to send people to when they're like, 37 reputation telling us that this thing is going to fall apart if Ned doesn't do something, feel free to send them over to my post.
Yeah, I really love seeing those ones. Got on the platform yesterday, but they're going to tell you what's wrong. Yeah, but you're not telling us that the platform's going to fail and fall apart. Yeah, good move, Evening Art.
Oh, an Evening Art, you had like your week-old post was like the sweetest thing, and you were like, I found out these things, and here I still have a couple of questions. I was very impressed by your 1-week post.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Well done, Nico.
Thanks. That's all for me.
Thank you. And Katrina, you are up.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, really? Yes, you.
Ah,
Yes. I was, sorry, just finishing a thought there. So I got a new guitar a few days ago. It's the shapely looking blue one between the two larger guitars. Can you see the green now? Yay! Yes, I'm really, really happy with it. And this is a really short 4-minute U-log introducing some of my guitars. There's Sammy the Baby Badass over on the left, which was my very first guitar that I ever had that was given to me by a friend. Yeah, Zippy, I am really liking the curves on my new Yamaha because it's small and it's light and it feels really good.
You
That
name
is
your
my...
guitars?
No. Well, some of them. What, Sammy the Baby Badass?
Yeah.
It came with that name.
Oh. So it's basically got a name that's bigger than it.
But you've got to see this guitar. But yes.
Well, it looks pretty cool, but it's got kind of a long name, and yet it's the smallest guitar you've got.
It is, but it's got so much character. It can handle it.
Well, this is true. Yeah. Some tiny things have character. There's no question about that.
Yeah, I resemble that remark. I'm only 5 feet tall.
Oh, okay.
are you really?
Yeah, I'm little.
Oh, even with your pictures, you look big, taller than 5 foot.
Yeah, actually,
I
you do.
take up a lot of space energetically.
Oh.
Is the pores around the same height?
But it's such a positive, wonderful, bright energy. So it's huge and bright and beautiful.
Aw, see, I know why she loves you.
Well, and another really cool thing too about this guitar is how she earned the money to buy it. It's through another one of her talents.
Yeah, okay, I'll talk about that. Thank you, the kitty girl.
You're just such a multi-talented lady. Don't hide your light under a bushel.
Oh my gosh, you're so sweet. I scraped together the money to buy this guitar by cashing in my royalties from my books. And if anybody doesn't know, being a self-published author isn't necessarily very lucrative. But I do make some royalties, and I'm not doing hardly anything to make them other than blogging on Steemit, which may or may not be helping. It is helping some. But I had some books at the local store here that I had been waiting to collect my commission on, and I had a check to deposit. So it actually worked out really well that I didn't have to, that I was able to pay for the guitar with my book royalties. That felt good.
It would. And what kind of books have you published?
I have a nonfiction that I published in 2012 called Yoga for Dragon Riders. So it's a very complete yoga manual with some other energy healing stuff in there, and philosophy and meditation and breath work. But written for fantasy lovers, basically, and with a lot more imagination than maybe some more serious, drier manuals have. Nothing wrong with those, but this is how I wrote it. And then my novel that's set in the film industry.
Yeah, when you
Amazon Eco Instant, at the bottom of all of my blogs is the link to my books on Amazon. Thank you for your interest.
Are you able to tell in your stats on Amazon if any of your sales have come through the platform?
I am not. I don't have I definitely don't have it set up like that. I'm just linking straight to Amazon. I'm not tracking my links. I know
I
that
didn't know
that's
whether
possible.
maybe Amazon tracked them, where the sale came from.
I would think I'd have to put Google Analytics on it or something. I'm not. I don't know that there's a function like that on Amazon. I honestly don't pay attention to it that closely.
Well, that's one of the beauties of it, is once you've got your sales funnel established, that you can move on to other things and just occasionally check and see whether it's made you any money or not.
Exactly. And the Amazon, the digital stuff gets sent straight to my bank account, which is nice. So I don't really check on it that often, but the Create Space still sends a check for physical book sales. And then my local sales have probably made me more money over the long run than anything else, just having copies of books in stores that people walk up and say, "Ooh, I like this cover." And
interesting. Oh yeah, I would definitely be wanting them to go through your book site.
So when do we get to hear the new guitar?
I play it in my open mic. I'll drop the link my next turn around. There's not that many people, so I'll let somebody else have a turn, and I'll get back in the queue.
Okay. Thank you, Katrina. And he's there. Louis Draw is back, so it's now his turn. Oh, Louis Draw. I'm not sure he's even paying attention to us, which kind of defeats the purpose of the evening.
His mic is muted.
I see that. Whenever I ride my dragon, I get really stiff in my lower back. Up. There we go. We did get a picture. Hello, friends. I hope you're well today. I share my new drawing. I hope you like it a lot. This drawing is done for 3 hours. Okay. Okay, so let's have a look at what he's done here. And he's shown process, which is nice. Ooh, some nice detailed process too.
Oh yes, thank you. I really like to see the process in this type of post.
Totally. And giving commentary on the process. He's done some really nice work here. Nice work, Louis Draw, but uh-oh. How come we're seeing the cheetah thing at the bottom?
Well, the drawing is different, but it's possible this text is copied.
That's called plagiarism. Let's see if he can explain it. It's possible it was originally his, so let's see if he's going to respond to it.
Gosh, and Luis, I would really encourage you to not do that, because if this drawing is really fantastic.
I would really encourage him to respond and explain this, because plagiarism in here is a bannable offense. Yeah, you might want to grin. I'd like you to tell us about this, please.
Yeah, that's not helping Louis draw. Do, 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 do.
And it looks as though that text has been copied. Just on a quick scan here.
Yeah, my internet's so slow I can't check on it.
Yeah, right, Shadows Pub. What does that mean?
Pardon me? Okay. Apparently he can't be bothered answering, so goodbye.
Yeah. That's rude on top of it.
Yep. He's done. I don't mind giving somebody the opportunity to explain, but getting rude is not going to answer the question. Okay.
Yeah, we cut people a lot of slack in here, so.
Yeah, because sometimes Cheetah makes a mistake, and I don't mind in the least if somebody's got a reasonable explanation. But that was not reasonable or even an attempt at an explanation.
No, that wasn't. That was
Yeah.
not even a trying.
Oh well, nothing like a little excitement.
Well, for anyone here who doesn't know what's going on with the plagiarism, if you read something on another site, it's okay to copy word for word a brief sentence or so to put in your post, but you need to say where you got it from. If it's more than just a sentence or two, you need to reword it in your own words. You need to read it, understand it, and then paraphrase it. Yeah, thank you, Anonymous. Yeah, paraphrasing it in your own words. That's very important. And still give credit even if you've paraphrased it. Say, I learned this from this site over here or from this book written by this author, and here's what was said, blah, 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 you know.
Yeah, I really appreciate when people are doing original work, and you know, if they've got a problem, like Cheetah, have an explanation. I'll only use the band hammer once today. It sure does, Eco.
That was the perfect use of the band hammer. Boom.
After a reasonable opportunity to explain.
I should have loaned you my fancy boot.
Yes?
Yes. I have a question.
Sure.
Where was the cheetah notice? Because I didn't see it pop up on his page. Is it something that happens in the server here?
It's a comment on that post.
Yeah, it was right at the bottom, and it showed the link where they had picked up the copied material.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes they get it wrong. It's, you know, they've maybe used something a little bit similar. So that's the reason I gave them the opportunity to make an explanation. And sometimes what happens is you've done some work on another site, put the same work over onto this platform, and Cheetah picks up on it. Yeah, like
okay.
Eco's commented there, he was cheated from his old blog. So you know, you establish your ownership link between the content, and it's quite all right.
That's how I learned about CheetahBot. One of my very first posts, I wanted to practice markdown styling, and I just pulled it over and reworked it for Steemit, and that's how Cheetah found me. But it was actually awesome because then Cheetah just linked back to my original blog. It's like, cool. It's all good.
And
Helpful promotion.
In response to Evening Art's question, copying the blurb from the back of a book, would Cheetah have a problem with that? Yes, that is actually plagiarism too, whether Cheetah would have a problem or not. You need to cite that that's where you got the blurb was, you know, from the back cover of such and such a book by such and such an author or whatever.
Yeah, if you cited it, you'd be all right on that. That would probably be given as fair use, as long as it's cited.
The acceptable rule to follow is if you're questioning it, just go ahead and cite it in parentheses.
Good rule of thumb, yes.
Yep, absolutely. Always give credit. And unfortunately, that would have been a phenomenal post had he not cheated. So it's really too bad when that happens.
And if there's ever any question as to how you should cite something, definitely DM me. I'm not an expert, but I can link you to people who are experts if need be. So feel free.
All right. Thank you, everyone. And Snook, you are up.
So, this is Guilty Parties, and this is his second new log that he did, and he writes hilariously when he finds time to write, but he usually doesn't find time to write. And if you read the story, it's just worth it. You will get a huge laugh out of it. He has very dry sense of humor, and he never talks when he's in anywhere. So it's fun to read his posts and actually find out a little more about him through his posts. So I would highly encourage you to take a read, and it's actually very funny.
If you've ever had opportunity to talk to Guilty, it's usually in a DM because, as Snook said, you never see him chatting in a channel, or very rarely. He writes a lot the way he talks when you're chatting with him. And he's very funny. He wrote one of his early posts on his blog, and if you scroll way back, you would find it. And it's about his struggle with Veterans Affairs Canada. And it's just hilarious. It's true. Sadly, it's true, but it's hilarious. Beautifully written. Yes, he does. He has a tendency to long paragraphs. Although I've seen worse. Thank you, Snook.
You are very welcome.
And Hobotang, you are up.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
All right. So, I haven't posted in a while. This post was originally for the Alliance homework. I'm in their classroom and trying to be part of the Alliance. I wasn't very motivated because I'm not a homework doer. I don't really like when people tell me how I have to write or what I should write about. Yeah, that's how I am. So, the subject matter was toys, and I kind of just hit the refresh button and got inspired about my photography and kind of the toys that I get to play with, and some of which are vintage toys in my photography life. So, that's what this post was. A little gear talk. I got to talk about one of my toys, one of my little Canon film cameras, 35 millimeter. It's a nice short read. I actually just finished up part 2 tonight that I released. I think it's a little bit better, but started with part 1 tonight. So check it out.
So the homework couldn't have been that bad if you actually are doing part 2.
I mean, toys. Like, how inspired could a hippie get about, like, toys?
And look at that old-fashioned film beside that camera.
Yeah, so I credited this photo to somebody else, but I know the film well. It's actually some Fujifilm Superior color.
What's film?
He was waiting for that.
Bluefin.
My uncle actually got into, and my uncle is now 96. He actually got into using a computer because of cameras going out of using film. He first started with a printer, then realized that if he got a computer, then he could play with pictures a little bit more. And then from there, he got onto Facebook. So it's kind of cool. Thank you, Hopotang.
Yeah, thanks for letting me share, guys.
And we're glad to have you here doing that. JR, you are up. As in J.R. Schwab, who, by the way, in case anybody hasn't noticed, he's a witness.
Hello.
Hello.
Let me grab my link and then I'll talk about what I want to talk about.
Sounds like a plan.
So I'm making a thing. Well, I made a thing, but I'm still making the thing. And a lot of people. So for me, I like IPFS, which is actually what DTube uses to host videos, what DSound uses, what DLive uses to host videos and audio, so on and so forth. But I'm a nerd, so I decided I have a home server, so why don't I just make my own IPFS server? And I started using that, and then I found that it did everything I needed to get my content on IPFS, and I can link it on the Steam blockchain and share my videos and my audio just by myself, just as a Steam post, because that's I guess I'm kind of like a Steemit/busy maximalist. I don't particularly care for DTube and DSound, but they're nice platforms anyway. But they do the same thing. I ran into some problems with being able to get my hashes. So once you upload the IPFS through a server, on a command line, you can't find the hash again. You have to re-upload the thing again, and then you get the hash again. And that was kind of annoying. I didn't want to keep re-uploading the same thing over and over again. And so I started talking to some people to see, if anyone would be interested in helping pay for a large server. And I got some really good feedback on people apparently need a service like this. So what this is pronounced archivatory, and it's a play on words between archive and laboratory, because we want to make our content archivable, so it's always available, but this is still kind of like a new thing. Like IPFS isn't super old, and it's still in the works, so it's also a laboratory as well. And this video just goes through the updates I did this past week, and I should have more next week because I've been putting a lot of effort into this. Basically, what you do is you can either make an account or you can just use it without an account, and you pick your file and it uploads it, and it gives you your IPFS hash and a link, so you can copy the link, put it in your Steam post, or copy the hash and put it in the advanced tab on DTube. Or if you are running into problems where your DSound or your DTube videos or videos/audio are disappearing, what you could do is upload them in both places. So you can upload it to DTube and you can upload it to Archivatory, and then if something happens on say DTube or DSound's end where the file disappears, your file is still on Archivatory because it's the exact same file, it has the exact same hash, which means it has the exact same links, which means it's still viewable somewhere. It might be slower because IPFS isn't the fastest thing right now. They're still working on optimizations, and it's being used a lot more than it was 6 months ago. But it still exists, and you still find it, because unlike people think, IPFS is once it's there forever, but it's not exactly true. If you put it on DTube and only DTube has a copy of it and no other node has pinned that file, then if DTube deletes it for some reason, maybe on accident, maybe on purpose, then even though you still have the link to your content, the hash is still the same, you still can't view it because there's no one on the entire network with a copy of it. So that's what I'm trying to solve with Archivatory, give another place for people to upload their content so it's somewhere else on the network. And there's a bunch of stuff in the future we want to bring out and put on it, but that's kind of my spiel on that.
Well, DTube is deleting videos after a week, are they not?
That's what DSound does too. They have a garbage collector that comes through and deletes everything. I learned that the hard way.
I did not know DSound did that as well. Interesting.
Yeah, it's awful.
Here's garbage collection is actually an IPF feature. So it's used so that content that gets removed from a node, an IPFS node, doesn't stay cached on other nodes. And so it's a thing in IPFS. So the reason why garbage collection is an issue is because if DTube or DSound are the only ones with your file, and they delete it, and then everyone on the network ends up has to run the cleanup, the garbage collection command, because it happens every so often to keep the network from getting super bogged down with old content. Because the nodes can't find, they'll remove their copy of it, their cache of it, so they don't know where to find it now. And since it's deleted off of DTube or DSound, now it doesn't exist at all. And so if someone says, I want this, here's the hash, go find it for me, IPFS, it can't find it because, one, nobody has the cache, no one cached where it's at because they all deleted it, and DTube or DTube don't have it anymore because they deleted it, and then their cache of it deletes, so they don't even tell the network they had it in the first place. So it's kind of like a weird situation. But yeah, garbage collection is a thing, and it happens on all IPFS servers.
Can I ask you a question, JR?
Yes, please.
So Graylon was trying to help me earlier. I was having an issue uploading actually the post that I shared a little earlier, a song of mine. And no matter how much he was trying to explain it, I just couldn't wrap my head around how, and I've uploaded, I registered with your archivatory, and I couldn't figure out how to direct or how to connect that to my dsound post to make sure that it was the same hash.
Okay. So DTube makes it really easy to do it. Yeah, because they have an area where this says advanced, and you can click advanced, and you can actually put your hash in this little like input box. But I have not seen that on DTube, and I've not seen it on DLive. Oh, dsound, yes. I've not seen it on dsound and DLive. What you can do though is upload it to both places. Because if it's the exact same file, so if you have the file and you make no changes to the content of that file, the name of the file doesn't matter, but just the content of the file doesn't change, it'll have the same exact hash regardless, which is why they call it a permanent web, because your file is linked to its hash. And so the link never dies. It's always just going to be the same exact hash as long as you don't change anything about that content.
So in other words, it's auto-magical?
Yeah, pretty much. And if you can upload it to both places, so like if you upload it to dsound and archivatory, and dsound decides to delete it, well, when someone requests that file to watch it or listen to it, archivatory will still have a copy of it. And so the network's like, hey, where do I find this? And it goes around all the nodes trying to find where it is. And then archivatory goes, oh, we got it, here you go. And then because someone wants to listen to it or watch it, a bunch of nodes then cache the information on where to find it, and it's a little bit faster the next time. That's kind of how that works.
Thank you. I was so confused, and now I am not. You're awesome. What a great service.
Nicely done, JR. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, Katrina, you are up. There she is.
Nope, that's not it. Hang on.
Yeah, I was going to say, that looked familiar. She just wanted us to remember it.
I'm sorry, I thought I went and got the link, but obviously I was distracted by all the other pretty blogs.
I find sometimes that I think I've got something in on the clipboard, and it's actually the previous thing that I had. Here we go.
Okay. Kitty Girl asked to hear the guitar in action, and this is the first song that I wrote on it. I pimped this morning, so this is sort of a repeat for those of you who are here, but it's a fun song, and it basically is about the frustration of a mother who is dealing with having less freedom than usual and trying to find a way to go play.
Is that kind of a familiar situation?
Yeah, this is like a daily thing for the last 4 years.
Yeah, it does when you have little kids, that's for sure.
And obviously I love them and they're wonderful and I love being a mother, but finding balance is tough, and I think that goes across the board for all parents. So it's, so the plan is to go to Atlanta, and plans are so subject to change, but I'm going to try and actually, once a plane ticket's bought, then I'm going. So hopefully I'll buy that plane ticket sometime soon.
Sounds like a plan.
I see a baby djembe in that picture. I love djembes. I've got some too.
That's the little one. I have two other ones. I got the biggest one first. I got my big one when I was 15, and I walked into the music store and I just started hitting all the djembes and figured out which one had the biggest bass, and of course it was the biggest drum. gets heavy when you're carrying it places, but it sounds so great.
Yeah, I've got several djembes, and I need to drag them all out and photograph them and make a post about them, but I haven't done that yet. That's awesome.
Well, I would love to see that post. And something I wanted to mention, the last post that I put up there, the ulog post, I've actually been experimenting with bots lately, with not necessarily bid bots, but, well, some. So I stayed away from it for a long time, and then I'm like, well, okay, I want to grow my investment. How am I going to do that? I'm going to experiment with this. So my ulog post looks like it's doing really well, but most of that is money that I'm sending to myself.
You're just investing in yourself. It's totally the way to do it.
Yep.
Well, I am investing in myself, and I want my investment to grow more quickly, because that's not only going to benefit me, it's going to benefit other people as well.
Boom.
All right. Thank you, Katrina. Damien, I hope the situation worked out.
Yeah, it did.
Good.
It did. It's all calmed down.
Good stuff. And here
So,
we had you first on the queue.
I know it's been one of those days, Shadows. You know, I was like Mr. Happy and really positive this morning, and then loads of stuff came my way to try and ruin my day. But that's good. Okay, so I'm going to put the link in. This post is really going to be of interest if any of you happen to be bloggers. And especially if you're doing creative content. So this is about first serial rights and Steam, and how Steam affects them. And really, it's answering the question: if you post your work to Steam, your original creative content, can you then offer those pieces to magazines, journals, and periodicals as unpublished original content? And it's a mixed answer, but it's not as clear cut as a lot of people have seemed to think on the platform, because there's a little bit of misinformation spreading about it, where people say if you posted it to Steam, you can't send it to a magazine. And that isn't the case. So, if this is affecting you or anyone you know, have a read. Let them know about it. It really could open some doors to some new avenues for revenue for your work for you. Because, as I said, the answer to this is not as clear cut as everyone would have you believe.
Yeah, if you're only interested in writing on this platform and don't care about going beyond it, you're probably not going to be interested in this post. But if you're going to use this as a springboard, you want to know exactly what you can use and what you can't use. And Damien's put the research into finding out. So it's good to have a read of it. And, if you're publishing decent content on this platform, you probably should be thinking about what else you can be doing with your content. So you probably should have a look at it. See if it sparks any ideas.
Yeah, I agree. If you're posting stories, poems, even articles and reviews, there's probably places out there you could send them and make some money as well. So yeah, consider it. And thank you, Shadows.
Yes,
it
is
amazes
much easier to
me
post
that
here than
FSR
submit.
is such a thing, because it seems to me, I know everyone wants an exclusive, see it here first, but if it's a benefit to their readers, it seems like it would be worth publishing, even if it had appeared somewhere else previously. I just don't understand the rationale there.
I think in the post I say think about markets rather than the minutiae, and I think that's right, because I could say to you, oh well, you've already published that, but you haven't. A handful of people have seen your work. To any rational editor, that isn't going to count. They're still getting to show your work off first, really. especially if it's going to be of appeal to their audience. So yeah, you're right. Don't accept that you posted it to Steam it, so therefore it can't be posted elsewhere. Oh, Zippy, thank you. I love your voice too, especially when you
Yeah.
sing.
Thank you.
So, Damien, in Welcome Wagon, we have a resource bin that I copy and paste links to and drop them in there. We give that to our newbies that we're training. Are you okay if I drop this link in there and direct them that for those that publish?
Yeah, of course. This is. I mean, I wrote this because people need to know that the general consensus on Steemit isn't really the right one. So, yeah, of course, let people know. And again, if you've got friends who write poetry and prose and articles and whatever on the platform, and they don't know this, let them know, because I really think a lot of people are missing out on a lot of money and potential places for their work to go because of it.
Yeah, a lot of exposure, right. They're limiting themselves.
And I think Steam is great for encouraging us to write and continually put out stuff. And as long as we're working to make our stuff at top quality, there's no reason we can't use this as kind of the testing ground, as it were, for the stuff we're going to put out there. And I'm now starting to send all the stuff I've written on Steam off to various places. And some will get hits, some won't get hits. But I'll just keep going, and I'm sure most of it will find a place eventually. But don't think it really is. As I've heard so many people say, "Oh, when you post it on Steam, you can't publish it anywhere else," and that's just so not true.
Never that's excellent. Never. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Damien.
Thank you, Shadows. Thank you, Bluefin.
That was super insightful, and that's actually something that I've been really curious about.
So if you happen to remember that Damien wrote a post like this and you were wanting to find it again, in the reference section in this Discord, you'll find a channel called Writing Tips. It's now in there. We only put the best in there, Damien.
Well, thank you for that.
Thank you, Damien. Bluefin,
thank you.
You are up.
I hope everybody had a good day. And now let me get rid of my push to talk, because I ended up putting extra characters at the end. So this post came about today because of Yidnith's post earlier in the day. She posted some really cool, really nice post of her wandering through an area with a little waterfall and some real green. I know, green, shocking for Yidnith. And it just came to me, and I was like, oh, I know I have that photo somewhere, and I went and I found it and dropped it and wrote up a little post here. It really made me think of her. And I picture her as the lady of the lake, coming out of the stand of trees and holding her arms out, and I mean, that whole vision of her. I didn't mention that she was holding the sword that would determine who rules the kingdom in Arthur's legends, but that's who I picture.
The Fairy of the Lake. That's a beautiful shot.
And beautiful tribute to Yidnith as well. Very sweet.
It is.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Hobotank says, I love the story behind each photo you share, Bluefin.
It's each post. Each post has a story behind each photo that's shared. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Well done. Thank you, Bluefin.
Thank you all.
Okay, kitty girl, what does that mean? That's the second time you did that.
that was mentioned in the chat earlier today when we were talking about Snook made me do it and whatever. It came around to bluefin, and somebody said it. He had been, you've been bluefinned, you know.
There we go. You've been bluefinned.
I could kind of see him, grabbing that icon and
Oops.
putting it in the comment under a post, you know, when he approves of the post or something. I don't know.
We're going to see them appearing on our post now, are we? You've been bluefinned?
You've been bluefinned.
Oh,
That's awesome.
He's going to so play with that. I could just hear that tone. Thank you, Bluefin and Kitty Girl. Artemis, you're up.
Well, here's another post that really struck my fancy. Working on my ramble. I'm sharing them tonight because I don't quite have it finished to be able to share the whole thing, so I'm giving you the highlights. This is a really cool post. This Art Watch found a box of books, and she took it home, and there was old pictures in it, and this is actually, well, I'm not going to explain it all to you. She's written a really delightful story called The Nikwan, and it's actually more of a background about this race of people that she has created, and the way that she shows her process, turning what she got in the book into this is really good.
Yeah, I think you shared this at Creatives the other day too, didn't you? Or did somebody share it and we caught it?
Actually, that was another one, but it was similar.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You might want to consider submitting that one to Azaria for her creatives curation on Saturday or Sunday.
Oh, that's a good idea. Thank you.
Yeah, give it a little more exposure. Okay. D-Joy, and I hope I've said that correctly. Are you going to present by text or by voice? This is your first time. Okay. So you'll need to unmute yourself and come on and talk about your post. Are you set up for push to talk there? Okay.
Hello?
There we got it.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Tell us about your post.
Okay. The post was an entry for a contest by people. And while I was writing it, I realized a lot of things. For starters, I wrote about one of my happiest times. You know, sometimes we go through moments and all we can see in that time is the challenges around. But when the time is past, we look back and we find out that time was one of our happiest moments. And such a time was when I was 7. Here in Nigeria, after a higher institution, you're expected, in as much as you are below 30 years or 30 years at most, you're expected to serve the country for a year, a whole year. The country will send you to a foreign place, a foreign state, not something you're not used to, so you get to learn other people's culture and the people. So I was sent to Enugu, a place in Nigeria called Enugu, and looking back now, when I was there, I kept saying that I couldn't wait to get out of there. But looking back now, that period is one of my happiest periods. But I knew that one thing I had was this serenity, and when I was leaving, even then, I said one thing I'll miss is the serenity. You wake up in the morning and you're breathing in fresh air, and your first look out the window is greenery and
Joy, you might
everything.
come closer to the mic. You're fading away on us.
Oh. Okay, can you hear me now? Is it better?
There, that's better.
Okay. So you look out the window and you're seeing things you're just looking at natural things. I grew up in the city, so I guess that's why that period was quite great for me. Now, the contest asks that we write on greenery. So each picture had something about greenery. The first picture, I talked about everything, even the algae there, the algae um on the walls there, and talked about the farm, the little green shoots, talked about the trees, and when I was when I was writing about this post, when I was writing this post, I realized those things were the things that contributed to me feeling at peace with myself while in Enugu. That's basically what the post is about, just about my experience there. I stayed there for a year, and it's still one of my favorite times. When I think back to my happy place, it's one of those places. And so I also talked about the green color. I read one time that green is a color which affects the senses in the most peaceful way. I read it somewhere, and I agree. I agree. If the green color kind of have not the neon green now, but the normal green, which is why the leaves, the grasses, when we go to environments where grasses and trees are, we tend to feel a little bit calmer. That's about.
Okay. Thank you, DJoy. And that was your first time presenting. You did very well. You can release the mic. You can release the mic now. And we've now given you the blue Pimp Your Post Thursday attendee color. And welcome. And here we go. Let's see if I can remember. Ameke Shigan. One of them was going to work. I see him writing.
Yeah, I think Ameka Shigan is how you say it.
Yeah, I remember there was a sh in there, even though it doesn't look like it from the spelling.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Oh, good morning, everybody.
Okay, that covers that day. How are you this day? And you're going to put a link in for us, I'm quite sure. I love that picture that DJoy's put on that post. It speaks of character. Mega Shigan, do you have a link for us? I wonder if he's lost his connection. He's not typing and he's not responding. He may have lost his connection. Okay. Amelia, I'm going to let you go ahead, and hopefully his connection will come back up. Or do I have a connection? Are you there, Amelia? Yeah, I see Tank, but...
I can hear you.
Okay. Oh, okay. Amelia's looking for a link. Thank you, Bluefin. Usually when I lose my connection, I can hear a little click in my ear that tells me that my connection's dropped. So.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
So I just want to clarify, I'm not using Hobotang. I'm using Hobotang's phone.
Oh, I thought maybe you were projecting yourself through his voice box.
No, I just didn't. I didn't finish my sentence, so I'm having computer trouble. So here we go. Just pretend I'm Hobotang for a second.
Okay.
Okay, so the link I just dropped is to my latest post, which I did post while I was listening to the show. So, but I really wanted to create this post and share it with Katrina Ariel specifically because she is the one who inspired the subject matter of this post. So I think last time I was on here, you guys got like the advanced version of my last post, which was about brewing a special tea. Not a specialty, a specialty. Just so we're all on the same page. But anyway, not all of my jokes are funny. But so I try. But so in the comments of that post, in the bottom of that post, I said, hey, if you guys have any ideas for teas, throw them out. And Katrina's was specifically, can you possibly make me a recipe to reduce anxiety, aka mommy stress? Please no chamomile or related flowers as my body doesn't like them. Everything else should be good. So this was totally perfect for me because not only was it a cool, not like, oh, I have a sore throat. It's more like I have this life thing that can you impact it with an herbal tea? And there was this barrier of, hey, but no chamomile flowers, which I had to learn was like a family of flowers that is related to daisies. The Asteraceae or something. I think that's how you pronounce it. So I got to learn a little bit. I got to do some research on herbs. And because I'm not a mother myself, I've not worked with herbs that are specifically for mothers. It's just like something I'm fairly unfamiliar with. So I really enjoyed doing the research for this tea, crafting this tea, putting it together, and creating this post. So you can get the tea recipe from here, and you can get a little bit behind the story as to why I chose each of the herbs, because each of them is specifically crafted and joined together to help reduce not just the stress of motherhood, but all of the impacts of being a mother, which are very diverse. Worrying about your children, wanting to put your children in an igloo in Antarctica for 10 years until they're cool and grown up, sometimes when they act like crazy people. Just kind of wanting some space, but then also loving them so much that you really can't think about anything else. So thank you guys for checking this out.
Very nice. Thank you, Amelia, aka Hobotang.
You're welcome. Bearing with me on my technology issues. I was listening to that post earlier. Both Alan and I were listening to the IFPS or whatever post, and we were just our eyes were popping out of our head what? Technology. Oh.
Exactly. That's why I had to ask him to explain it.
And it worked.
But it was so beneficial, though. I definitely want to check that post out. Even though it's kind of techie and a little over my head, I still want to learn.
Thank you. Here we go again. Megashun. I'm probably reasonably close. And there we go. We've got the link this time. So come on and tell us about
good morning. Good morning, everybody. It's morning here in Nigeria. And I first want to appreciate you all for helping me to PM my order post the last time, for not being unable to come online. I want to talk a little about this post, though it is short. Before I wrote this post, I was on a server, which was EOC server. We were having a little discussion about what's going to happen to EOS since it has been moved away from Ethereum to blockchain. So we're having a couple of discussion and say what is going to be the outcome of it. After about few arguments, and we ended up, by the moderator doing a giveaway contest, which we were able to roll some boats, but unfortunately for me, I couldn't win anything, so I was kind of hungry. Then somebody just popped into the server and said, okay, there's a contest where we can win easy days and all that. And I'm like, really? And he said the contest is going to be a short story, that we should just write any short story about anything, but it should end in life is easy with easy days. I'm like, oh, that's so sharp. I'm going to do that since I'm unable to win any of the give away both. And I just instantly and I quickly rushed down to my, note and start writing about how and what actually happened on the server. So that's just what the post is all about.
Okay. Thank you. And I'm glad you got back on.
Yeah, thank you very much.
It's always the way. You lose that connection just as it's your turn.
That's network. It's very funny, yeah.
Okay, Holbatang, you are up. And he's typing away. He must have anticipated that.
Getting the link in. Hold on.
Okay. There we go.
All right. So this is part 2. Just posted this tonight. Like I said, feeling inspired for that homework. Talking about the toys around my house. This one is a little bit interesting. I haven't actually gotten to use this camera. It needs repairing, but just upon inspection, I'm noticing quirky things and did some research and learned all sorts of interesting information about just these vintage Japanese cameras. And it was a lot of fun. So check it out.
Is that similar? I suppose I should go look at the post, but is that similar to the Brownie in the you look straight down, you hold it by your belt and you look straight down and shoot?
Yeah, so it's got a waist level viewfinder.
Right, yep.
Twin lens, so the top lens you're actually looking out of through the viewfinder, and the bottom lens is the taking lens, so that's directly going to the film.
And what's film again?
Yeah. It's kind of like a sensor, but not.
That looks cool. I'm just opened it up. I'm heading there now to check it out. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for checking it out. Like, I used to be a film shooter, and I'm sorry, I used to be a digital shooter, and kind of lost momentum. And film has inspired me the past year or so. So this is me kind of diving back into it and picking up some new gear.
New old gear.
New old gear, exactly.
Thank you, Holbatang.
Thank you.
And Artemis.
It's me again. This is Villette's post. I've been watching her for a while. She's been slowly working on an Irish crochet lace dress, and this is the rose, which will be the main feature on her dress. Making this is not easy. It's awkward, but it's so rewarding, and she's done a beautiful post here to show some of her process.
That's fine crochet cotton she's using there, is it not?
Oh, it is. And when you...
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Shadows.
I was just noticing that she needs to pin and block each part of it.
Irish crochet is actually modules or different pictures that you create, motifs, I guess you would call them. And then you see how she has what looks like almost like a mesh, and that's the background. So you create in around it, and then you pin it down, and very awkwardly, I've tried it, you crochet your mesh around where you want your pictures to be and where you want to have little openings to create your texture. It's amazing work that she's doing.
She's got some beautiful detailed shots there that she's done. Today's forecast, 100% chance of coffee and crochet. Yeah,
Shadows.
That's some beautiful work. Pardon?
I see. It looks like our dear friend, the giveaway happened.
Ah, thank you.
I don't want to brag or anything, but it looks like the photographers ruled the roost this day.
It does. Hopotang and
Oh,
Bluefin
yeah.
Studios.
Oh, yeah.
It must have forgotten about me. Bugger.
Apparently.
Bugger.
Well, it was only allowed to do 2 winners, or it would have got you, Zip. Congratulations, fellas. I will have to send out some steam at the end of this show.
So have you did you talk to people, tell them what it was, just so for the next time?
The Steam Basic Income? Yes.
Okay, I missed that because I missed the beginning.
We noticed that.
Like a fool. I was eating dinner.
Well, that's kind of a concept. I did get over and get my observe the presentation being done. And since it's Canada Day weekend, we did have a singing of O Canada.
So, Amelia Bartlett is wanting a sugar daddy now that Hobotang's rich.
Okay, well, Amelia and Hobotang worked that out. Bluefin, it's your turn.
Thank you. And not that I want to embarrass them anymore, but now we understand why Amelia was using Hobotang.
Well, I am the one. I'm the one in the couple that has the technology that works. I'd like to say.
This time.
Yeah, you hang on to that. Yeah. So this is a post from earlier today. We, as growing up as kids, we took a lot of car trips around the country, locally here in New England, and then across the country. And it became the norm that we would play car games. I'm sure every parent's got their kids distracted by, oh, look for this license plate or find something with this letter, go through the alphabet. One of the things that happened was we came across this sign that always made everybody chuckle. So go. Oh no, I put the wrong one in there. Ugh.
I was going to say there's no sign there.
Yeah, I know. Hold on, let me go delete that. Well, you know what? Leave that up. I'll just tell this story instead.
Okay.
What is this post? Oh, this crap? Oh. Who put this up? This is a cool vine that happens to grow below the deck, and it starts out a deep green, and then it turns into yellow, and now it's orange, and by the end of the summer it'll be this bright, like candy apple red, and it's just a really cool vine. I can't remember, but I believe it was Kitty Girl who said something that got me thinking about the different vines and whatnot that's growing around.
Probably has something to do with the different colors of the lilies.
Yeah, it could have been that. I blame almost everything that happens on the platform for me on her.
Well. Over in the block, we use Blame Shane, and apparently here it's going to be Blame Kitty.
I've been Kitty Girled.
That's funny.
Give her time. She'll make a graphic on that.
With the blinkies running around it. I've been Kitty Girled.
You know, for a guy that said he wasn't going to be on Discord, look at this. Nice. Blame transferred. He tuned in to Blame Shane.
Nice.
We don't, but we will have one, Zip. I just didn't think about getting it started, so we'll have one. Not to worry.
Well, I'm going to share Bluefin Studios post where he was about to tell the story. It's really cute. This is worth a read.
This was the one you were actually wanting to put up, right, Bluefin?
Well, yes, if I had half a brain, of course that's the one I would put up. Yeah, that's the one from today.
So since I've already put it up, you can go ahead and talk about it.
So yeah, like I said, we drive around, and parents, they have excellent skill set in keeping kids from killing each other or driving themselves crazy in the car on any long trip. And for this particular post, it was driving up to New Hampshire to go drop my daughter off at the camp she works in, and I would pass this sign that always said Scenic Vista. And one day I just stopped because it brought back the memories of this joke that became an in-joke inside my family. So go take a quick look, and hey, if you get a chance, maybe toss out a comment that has, something that you remember from driving around earlier in your childhood.
Very nice. Thank you. And the kitty girl. I suspect that when you went in the queue, that was not the one you were going to share.
Actually, no, it's not. Hang on a sec.
So go right ahead. Good to see you, Anonymous and Kurt Ross. You'll be back to see us next week, I hope. Yeah, there's the ones from this morning.
Yeah, since Zipporah asked, I thought I'd go ahead and pull it up and post that. That's the post from this morning. Now, the one that I wanted to share, and I wish I could have done this before Anonymous left, because it's partly for her that I was posting this. But there are several people in here who are first-time presenters and or have not been on the Steam platform very long, so I thought I would put this post up. It's an old post of mine. It's already paid out. Do not upvote it. You'll be wasting your voting power. But I want everyone that hasn't seen it already to go look at it, maybe bookmark it in your browser. And if you ever hit a brick wall when you're trying to come up with an idea for a Steam It post and you just, I don't know what to post about, this post might give you an idea. I've listed several topics in there that I think anyone could write about. There's also some challenges near the bottom of the post that are easy to do, and also by doing those, it might make you think of another post you could write. So this is just a public service announcement to get the juices flowing.
So nice. I don't want to tell people what to do, but if you go to that post and you notice that the kitty girl has made comments, you can upvote one of Kitty Girl's comments and they will pay off. So if you feel so inclined to give her a nod for her post, upvote her comment, and that is a way around that 7-day period.
Well, that's a good point. Thank you, Bluefin.
We need to get Kitty Girl to make a comment on there because her comments are all 10 days old. So go and make a comment on your post first, please. And then Shane won't waste his vote because he's going to go and vote on it. See, just because you said don't, Shane said, well. He's gone back to silence. All right. Thank you, Kitty Girl. And a mega shun. I hope I got that close. You are up.
Yeah, you're not close. It's actually called a Meka Shegun.
A mega shigun.
Yeah, kind of close.
Kind of close. You can tell I'm an expert at names.
Okay, no problem then. Well, my post is actually about terrorist father's health. For quite a while, I've been so worried about him because I've noticed that about him. He has been really been down about his father's health since the demise of his mother, who died several months ago. So he, despite all he has been doing for everybody on the streaming platform, his father's health has really, actually pulled him down. So I took it upon myself. Here in Nigeria, I spoke with a couple of pastors to intercede on his behalf so they can pray for his dad. So I decided on my own to write a prayer point, which how I've been doing for the past 2 days now. So this one I actually dropped was the first post I did for the prayer, which I wrote about and I have the second one already on my blog. So this is just what the post is all about. You guys can just check it out.
All right. And somebody was on earlier today. We asked about surpassing Google's father, and they said he's out of hospital. Is that
Yeah, he's at the hospital right now.
Good. That's a good sign. Terry's got enough stress in his life without that. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay. And D-Joy, you are up now. So, Bluefin's suggestion about comments, Kitty Girl has now made a comment on that post. So you can go and upvote that. Okay, D-Joy, tell us about your post. You need to unmute yourself.
Okay.
There we go.
My post is the third in a series of a little background story. I don't know what happened to me. I just started thinking about exes and words which I learned from them, which I still live by. And the most prominent of them all is the fact that strongest trees take time to grow. The series. So I think I was thinking about that, and I thought about other lessons I learned from exes. So this is one of them. This is the third. It's like I write them like poems, but they're actually stories. I'm telling a story like that happened to me. I'm talking about the ex. I'm talking about the word, the sentence he told me, which stayed with me. I don't know if I can read this. Can I?
Not all of it. Because then there's no reason for them to go look at your post.
Okay, I'll read only the first and the second stanza.
Okay.
You, our meeting was unique, brought about by my kindness. I think I liked you at first sight, till you became a thorn in my flesh. You seem to know it all, the in and out of the dreaded. Fear and curiosity was the glue. I was bound to you mysteriously. So that's just the first two. And I'm a word person. I think I have one more to write. I couldn't get it up to tomorrow. So I also put links to the first two. So if you can read them, I think you might find them interesting. So these are these are sentences that actually once in a while they come to me. Like one of them was you can never lose what you don't have. I remember that came to me because I was afraid to enter for a competition, and he told me, I told him I didn't want to lose because I loved the gift or the prize, and I said I didn't want to lose it, and he said you can't lose what you don't have, so just enter. It's not like it's yours already. So I when I'm afraid of attempting great things, I remember such things. And the other I talked about the strongest trees take time to grow. I repeat that to myself when I need to practice patience. And there are about two others. So that's what the poems are about. No, sure.
Nice work. Thank you, D-Joy. All right. And Kitty Girl gives us a little spoiler alert there. There's an interesting twist in that poem. So best go finish reading it, folks. And Artemis, you are up.
So this one's mine. Excuse me, it's my You Love number 12. I want to share a funny little story that happened at Knit Group yesterday. We were turning the corner, and a tiny little very expensive needle fell into the cubby of the door. So here I was dressed in white pulling apart a door panel in the middle of a parking lot. It was kind of funny, and I hope you get a laugh out of it.
My sister, the mechanic. And no parts left over when she put it back together.
Yeah, no parts left over. It wasn't a laptop, and my clothing was not destroyed. I was really careful.
Oh, you.
Well, and it gets more interesting than that because there was a miniature screwdriver involved.
Yeah, whatever could happen did happen. It was really funny.
Yes, you were very grateful for Dad having shown you some basic mechanics.
If it's got a carburetor, I'm okay. But the new stuff, forget it.
True enough. Thank you, Artemis. Amelia, you are up. And is she coming through Amelia or Hobotang?
Hey guys, I'm still on Hobotang's device because my computer's not working. So, after not posting frequently for like weeks, 2 posts in one night, I'm just really feeling it. But moreover, I was commenting on a friend's post, and I just made a simple comment. And what happened within like 5 minutes completely surprised me, and Alan's like, you have to write a post about this. So I was visited at my comment on another person's post by the haiku bot. Has anyone heard of the haiku bot?
I despise that thing.
What?
Yeah, it keeps popping up on mine. And then, so now I actually stuck in one of my posts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the haiku bot always grabs that and throws it out there.
That is hilarious that you troll the haiku bot back.
I totally trolled the haiku bot.
Okay.
You're much more patient. I just flag it. If you're saying anything, we lost you, Amelia.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
There, now we can.
I was just talking shit, so you're probably glad you didn't hear it.
Well, talk shit. It's good.
I was just saying you guys must be a bunch of poetry curmudgeons, but anyway.
Actually, I am.
I really like it.
I don't write poetry. I sometimes read it.
I thought it was precious, though, because the comment was, these photos are so precious. You have such talent and such lovely girls. And I wanted to say something nice because I really liked the post. And the haiku bot surprised me by putting my words into a little haiku. And I guess I kind of have an emotional attachment to haikus from like a prior story dealing with a haiku. So I just thought that this was really special. So I wrote a little ode to the haiku bot, and I also wrote them a poem in return. So I will read the poem to you because it is a short one.
Okay. We lost you again.
Gosh, this whole touchscreen thing, just like technology, man. So, okay, here's the poem. Amidst the swell of aggressive, bogus robots, animated soul.
Yeah, obviously some people are going to like them and some people aren't. I like that one, but I don't like the bot.
Shut up. You are so sweet. I love you. Thank you for liking my haiku poem, even though you don't like haikus.
No, I didn't say I don't like haiku. I don't write it. I do sometimes read it and appreciate it. But I don't like that bot.
Well, you can just send that bot to me all the time because I think it's so cute, and like I'm kind of hoping that it picks up on my other random accidental haikus. I think it's adorable. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you, Amelia. All right, so we are down at the end of the queue unless somebody else has got something they'd like to toss in there. We're beginning to see the effects of reduced posting on the platform.
That wasn't an issue at the earlier session today, though, that's for sure.
This is true.
I really think Clove71 ought to share the Steam Monsters post. She has sat here so patiently while the rest of us have been presenting. It's only fair that she takes a turn.
Well, Clove, have you got a post that you could share? That's okay. Come on and tell us about it.
Yeah, when I asked her earlier if she was going to share a post, she said, "Oh, I don't have anything, just a post on Steam Monsters." But that's perfectly fine. We've got Steam Monster peeps in here.
Yeah, we don't ban Steam Monsters.
And we've seen just about every other topic come through here, I think.
Okay, so tell us about this. Oh, you might want to unmute. Actually,
Ooh,
you
I
will
see
need to
fire.
unmute.
I said, I see fire.
Clove, would you like to tell us about the post, please? We need you to unmute and...
She's muted.
Yeah, she's muted. Actually, I should check, make sure. Yeah, she's not server muted. It might not be set up for push to talk. That might be the issue. Have to use the app. Oh, she's in the browser? Yeah, if you're in the browser, it's a lot easier if you use the app.
That must be, I didn't even think about checking with her on that first.
DJ, glad to have you. Hopefully we'll see you next week.
Cue the elevator music. Do 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 do.
And we got an impromptu concert from Sephora.
Do 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 do.
And that's good to hear. DJ's gonna return.
I've got a little bunny I can share with you guys. While we wait, unless she's ready.
A good bunny.
It's the chill bunny. It's the chill bunny, reminding me to chill with my broken foot.
I love the chill bunny. So cute.
He's got a cute little face. Shall I drop the chill bunny while he can be the elevator chill bunny music.
Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, Clove...
Go see the chill bunny.
Yeah. Where'd that bunny come from?
Guatemala. He's a Guatemalan chill bunny.
Very cool. And Clove said that she can give some Steam Monster booster packs. If I'm not mistaken, Clove is one of the moderators in the Steam Monsters Discord, is she not?
I think she is, yes.
Yes.
Monster me. I want.
So I'm hearing two people saying I want. 3. So how are you working? Oh, Clove's gone. Oh, she's probably switching over to the app. Hopefully.
Yeah, that would be really cool if she is, because she's never
There she
presented
comes.
here before.
Okay, Clove, did you get switched over to the app?
Still muted.
Yeah, I see that. And hopefully she's getting unmuted.
Yeah, she is not server muted. I just checked.
Yeah. She's talked on voice because I've got her volume turned down. I'll give her a chance there to get her mute off. And she's gone again. She's having problems, obviously.
Yeah, this darn network issues.
Yeah, sometimes they just drive a person around the bend. Oh,
I don't know. I
misspelled.
still like Discord better than anything else.
Yeah, I like Discord. I better. I spend a lot of time on it.
Yeah, that addiction thing you were talking about earlier.
I liken it to an awesome apartment building, and you can kind of just go down the halls, and there's all the different communities and apartments you can step into and out of, and at will, right?
That's kind of a neat analogy. Yeah.
Yeah, or like a bunch of different pubs and coffee houses and whatever. It's just like the big house with all the different places or living rooms. Put your own word in there, whatever seems to fit, but that's what it feels like.
So while we've got this little lull here in this coffee house, I want to remind everybody that there's a new show starting on Tuesdays at 2 Eastern Daylight Time, which would be 6 o'clock UTC, and it's called The Curation Corner. Artemis North and I are going to host it, and we'll be inviting other curators on, and we're going to be talking about some of the posts that have been recently curated and why they were curated. What about the post spoke to us as far as the curation goes, so people can start to get a bit of an idea of what curators are looking at. So Rhonda Kay is going to be our first guest on Tuesday. Okay, D-Joy.
Sorry, Shadows, that was here on Tuesdays?
Yes, it is. And there's a channel down there for it. It says Curation Corner. That's where we'll meet.
Sounds good.
We're going to try it out, see what happens. Okay, D-Joy, tell us about this post. Where'd you go? There she is. I see her in the channel.
Yeah, hello. Okay,
We can hear you.
I'll rush through this. This post is about my oldest post, I think. That's why I didn't talk about it earlier. I got fascinated with addiction because I tend to ask myself a lot of questions. I ask myself what causes addiction? Why do some people get addicted to something and others can stop as suddenly as they started? But some, from the first time they use whatever substance they're addicted to, get addicted to it. And you find out that they try to overcome. And you see addiction, how it eats into people. The person you love may become a shadow of you or herself. So I got interested in the science behind addiction. And so while I was doing research on it was a very interesting read. And I found out, okay, I've always known about dopamine and its power. I know it's also involved in falling in love and everything. I knew about all that, but it was interesting how it works when it comes to addiction and how strong the chemical is. So I would like everyone to read it. And what fascinated me most about it is that there are different factors which can affect or increase or reduce the susceptibility of people getting addicted. For instance, genetics plays a role, and the environment you grew up in, and yeah, about those two in a nutshell. And then I also learned about the different ways, the main drugs which people are addicted to, different ways they act. The main thing about addiction is that when when dopamine is pumped in excess, it kind of overwhelms some spots in the brain. And when it happens that way, the brain gets hijacked by that pleasurable act. And then the brain does things on his own. For someone who is not addicted, he or she can take a bottle of beer, for instance, and say, okay, I'm done, I'm fine. But someone who's addicted, because the dopamine is pumping and has overwhelmed some spots, the person takes and keeps taking just to keep that high, to maintain the high he or she had gotten to before. So the brain is keeps telling the person it's not enough or you need this. But someone who is not addicted can tell him or himself or herself, it's fine, it's okay, you've taken enough, go home. But the reverse is the case when it comes to addiction. The brain takes over, just want the pumping dopamine. So this so what causes addiction? What keeps it going is the high level of dopamine in those areas. So what the different drugs like meth, codeine, they act in different ways to maintain the high, to maintain the dopamine high. So it was a very interesting read. So reading it taught me a lot. And one of the most shocking part of it was that from the first use, I usually thought that people who got addicted, all of them kept using until the point they couldn't stop anymore. But there's people who could get addicted from the first use. And that made me realize that because we do not know the genetics of our past ancestors, we should mind the way we get close to these harmful substances. And there's a reason why we don't get addicted to some pleasurable acts, but we get addicted to things like drugs and alcohol. Because naturally, those substances that people get addicted to, they pump more dopamine naturally, more than the reason dopamine was created. According to scientists, the reason dopamine is in the body is to help us continue for the human race. It keeps us by it. Dopamine pumps when we think about eating.
Dejoy, you should just summarize the post. You're telling us the whole post.
Okay, I think I'm done.
Okay. Well
Yeah.
done. Thank you. All right. Clove, you are unmuted now. So tell us about your post, please. Maybe. Clove. Are you with us? If you're talking, you're not lighting up and we're not hearing you. We've got Progress. She's unmuted. I'm not seeing any activity. Okay. Clove seems to be struggling. Katrina?
Okay, I literally just found this post. But I really like the Kitchen Fairy, and I'm happy to see her doing a witness update. And she does it in her super friendly, down to earth style. So this is, if you don't know about the Kitchen Fairy, she is one of our witnesses, and she's upgrading her server. But one of the things that I liked the most about this post is her husband apparently is traveling abroad and sent her a picture of him wearing a Steam shirt with her username on it, and she didn't even know he had gotten the shirt, and I think that's super sweet.
Here we go. Cool stuff.
So he's representing Steam on the road.
All right. So Clove's having trouble with her mic. That's why we're not hearing from her. So she's typing something there. We'll give her an opportunity to... Okay, so go ahead and message Clove. Do you want Do you want people to DM you or message you in the channel here, Clove? Okay, in here's good. So tag her so that she can catch them. And while that's happening, I'm going to go ahead and do You've been listening to Shadows Pub, host Pimp Your Post Thursday, evening edition from the Steam It Ramble. Until next time, it's all about community. And bye, Wilma.